Welcome to the second grade curriculum preview for the first 6 weeks. We are excited to show you some lessons that are already ready to go in Eduphoria, as well as to give you some ideas for some lessons you might want to consider as you plan for learning this 6 weeks. Your unit this 6 weeks, Good Citizenship and Classroom Community, really focuses by starting talking about good citizenship. And what you need to know is that this same concept is taught in kinder and in first grade in the first 6 weeks. So by now students should be very familiar with some terminology such as authority figures and why we have rules. It also talks a lot about the importance of the government as people who maintain order, provide security, and manage conflict. I always think it is a great idea at this point to have students talk about what would happen without government. For example, or without the rules that government does. For example, you might want to play a game of basketball without any rules, or think of football without any rules. In first grade, one student lesson that we have for them is where they play hands up, 7-up without any rules. You could refer back to this lesson, or you could create a lesson around another game where they could come to this conclusion for themselves. Another idea I have about this 6 weeks is to divide students into groups and have them create a descriptive pattern graphic organizer reviewing what the traits of truthfulness, justice, equality, all of those big themes really would look like. So often kids hear the big abstract words. But what do those words really mean? If a kid does something wrong and you say, what are you going to do next time? A lot of times they say, be good. Well, we all know that be good isn't getting it done. So this is a great opportunity for you as you're looking at some of these TEKs to really focus in on that type of granular level and to bring it down for those students. Because we want them to internalize this. In your TEK 2.13D, it talks about being actively involved in community service. And this would be a great chance for kids to write cards to people in retirement communities or soldiers and really to give you an opportunity to think of a way to get out there and involve your students in some community service. One of the things that I have listed here are some things that you can actually find as you go through Eduphoria. In 2.4a and 2.4b, we have second grade biography cards. In 2.4a, you are actually talking about the contributions of historical figures, such as Thurgood Marshall or Marangell, John Hancock, Theodore Roosevelt, who have influenced the community, state, and nation. I have attached for you on these your biography cards so that you can get to. You need to remember that in your TEKs, anywhere you see the word including means those are specific people that you do need to hit on. As you're talking about good citizenship and good communities, John Hancock is a great person to talk about, especially because we're going to hit on Constitution Day and celebrate Freedom Week this 6 weeks. So he's a great person to go over and to talk about or to write an expository paragraph about how he has contributed to our community. On 2.4b, you're going to talk about historical figures such as W.E.B. Du Bois or who have exhibited individualism and inventiveness. It has the word such as in that TEK. And remember that when you see the word such as, you still want to hit on these people because in my belief, if the state has put it in, it is something they want us to do. But know that you can include other people. You can look throughout some areas and look at some other people. So feel free to do that and add to that list of people who you think have really exhibited that. The other thing I want to go over for you is that September 17th is Celebrate Freedom Week and National Constitution Day. We are very lucky that in Eduphoria this year, we have included a whole week-long worth of lesson plans for you to do this week, and I am just thrilled about it. Your curriculum writers this summer worked very hard to include these for you. Now, the TEK that goes along with this says, identify how selected customs, symbols, and celebrations reflect an American love of individualism, inventiveness, and freedom. So during this week, you really want to go back to those words. Remember, if the state included this language in the standard or in the TEAC, it is the language they expect the students to learn as well. So students should come out of this week knowing these words: individualism, inventiveness, freedom, custom. What is the difference between a custom and a symbol? Do not ever feel like you have to change the wording. A lot of times we talk about saying things in kid-friendly language, but we need to remember that the reason why that language is included in the standard is because that is the way that the state wants us to learn it. And this will pay off for the students when they get into 3rd grade and start taking that STAR test. I want to share with you that one of the great things that is in this week-long lesson plan is an anticipation guide that allows you to have the students chart their own learning. So it's kind of a pre-assessment and then a post-assessment. It also includes a PowerPoint, and they get the chance to really go in depth with the preamble, and it separates it out, and different people look at different sections of it. So the other thing you need to remember is that these lessons also incorporate the book We the Kids, so you might want to go on ahead and have that handy as well. Included on this slide, I've also given you a website. It is www.texaslre.org. This is a great website. If you go on the Lessons tab of this website, you can see lessons that you might want to look at for the whole year, but especially for this week in particular, there is a lesson here called Freedom Elementary School Lesson Plan. It is appropriate for K1 and 2. I'm sharing that with y'all because y'all can use that. Now, you might want to talk to K and 1 if they use this to make sure, for example, for next year that you all don't do the same thing over and over again. But I think there's some great things to tweak in here, and just a great lesson plan for you to look at as well. So please feel free to do that. As we talk about getting prepared for the second 6 weeks, I want to say one other topic to you that I need to go over. This is a very exciting year, and as we move into the second 6 weeks, we're going to see a lot more talk about the fact that this is an election year. And I want to remind you that it is practice in Birdville that we stay very neutral during this time, and that we do not show our bias to our students as they go through this. We want to make sure that we respect the opinions of those in the students' homes, and we definitely want to make sure that that we're not lending ourselves too much to that conversation. It's an important time. We want to go over the facts with the kids. We want to go over those things. I understand that, but please make sure you're leaving your personal bias out of it. In addition to that, I want to let you know that we are working with the other curriculum coordinators, or I am, to have an in-person curriculum preview. What we're thinking is we'll have a day after school, maybe a 4 to 5:30, where you can come and hear from several of the curriculum coordinators. We'll also stream it online, like I did this time, through a photo story. So if you can't make it, you'll have a chance to hear about what's coming up. We hope this is helpful to you. I want to let you know I am here for you. If you have a hard time locating my name on email, I'm going to give you a trick that I use to spell my own last name. It starts like chia, so you have to remember that. It's called Shirelli, but it starts like chia phonetically. So think of it as C-H-I-A, like a chia pet, and then add just Relli to the end, R-E-L-L-I. I hope this helps you out. I know you're going to have a terrific first 6 weeks, and please let me know how I can be of any help and service to you. Thanks.